So America and Israel are attacking Iran. Should Americans care? And is this just Israel's war or something else? All right, this is an alert that basically be ready to run to the shelters. Okay, I don't know if you can hear that. Okay, let's get into the main topic. So I think the main conversation being had here is, yes, this Iranian regime is problematic. They stir up a lot of trouble. They cause a lot of instability. But what is the cost of shaking things up? Because we've been here before with Iraq, with the Arab Spring, and pretty much any attempt at regime change in the region. Is it worth it this time? And will it be different? Let's dig in. I actually live in northern Israel, and I made another video that hopefully will be up by the time you're watching this, that reviews what my day was like and the general eerie feeling of a country about to go to war. So you can check that out. Let's get back to the topics here. So the questions everybody's asking: what's the cost? Is it worth it? Will it be different? Most Israelis are thinking, okay, this needs to happen. And it's kind of like that feeling right before you get up to give a speech or cliff jump or do a cold plunge, if you've ever done that, where it's like, okay, I know this needs to happen. I know this is about to happen, but nothing in me wants to do it. For Iranians, it's a bit more complicated. Even though only about 20% of them support the regime, it's a complicated situation. And I really like this Reuters article. Reuters is known for being fairly non-biased, and they just quoted some people they were speaking to on the ground. We are scared, we are terrified, my children are shaking, we have nowhere to go, we will die here. What is going to happen to my children, she said. And that's a very human response to your country being attacked. It gets more complicated than that. An Iranian from the central city of Yazd, who probably didn't want to give his name for obvious reasons, said he hoped the attack would topple the clerical establishment that has run the country since 1979. Let them bomb, he said. But Samira Moebi disagreed. But she disagreed in a nuanced way. I am against the regime, to hell with them, but I don't want my country to be attacked by foreign forces. I don't want my Iran to turn into Iraq. Iran has been on the receiving end of intervention from Western countries for generations. So this is representing a lot of the facets of the Iranian response. Also, protesters about a month ago who were protesting very specifically the regime in the streets, they were killed in the thousands by the regime. They were calling out for U.S. support to say, come help us. We're here protesting in the streets. Come help us do this. So it's very complicated within the country. Again, only about 20% of them support the regime, but that doesn't necessarily mean they're in favor of what's going on, though many are. So should Americans care about what's happening? Is Iran an immediate threat to the U.S.? And the real answer to that is no, it's not. But Trump is claiming that by toppling the regime, that he can bring about a brighter future in the region and the world, perhaps. But that's a pretty big if, and we've seen many times it go the other way. Ahead of the strikes, Trump was told Iran attack is high risk, high reward. That's the whole situation here. Ahead of the U.S. attack on Iran, President Trump received briefings that not only delivered blunt assessments about the risk of major U.S. casualties, which would mostly be on U.S. bases in the Middle East, not U.S. soil, but also touted the prospect of generational shift in the Middle East in favor of U.S. interests, U.S. official told Reuters. Most of the Middle East plays ball with the West. They want to see deals, they want to collaborate with the U.S., they want to collaborate with Israel, and they're open to seeing a more peaceful and prosperous region. Meanwhile, Iran directly and outspokenly opposes Western influence, and they support more Islamic extremist groups, and that spells trouble for the future of U.S. influence globally. Whether or not that's a good thing, I discussed that in another video. Let's just say whoever the U.S. is supporting in the Middle East, Iran is against them, which in the right or wrong circumstances could take a hold on the Middle East and control things like economics. There's straits and passageways that go through the Middle East that are very important to global trade. There's general peace and stability in the region. There's the empowerment of Russia and China and all of these interests that oppose the West. I go into all of this in another video that I link at the end. My hope is that the U.S. and its allies have learned from Iraq, they've learned from the Arab Spring, and that they will approach things differently this time. I would guarantee you that the groundwork has already been laid. My guess is they already kind of know who the next leader is going to be or who the potential options are. I'm sure there are Mossad agents and U.S. intelligence on the ground in Iran trying to get a gauge of the situation of who is truly loyal to the regime and who's just getting a paycheck, who they can get on their side, gauging the situation to see what the outcome of a regime change actually would be. It still doesn't guarantee anything. There's always that question, do we maintain the status quo, which in and of itself has a risk. Maintaining the status quo when the status quo is not good is a risk in and of itself. It's not the safe answer necessarily, but the unknown. The unknown could possibly be less safe, less stable, less secure. And that's the big thing that we're facing here. Okay, well, there's the sirens.